Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday the 10th. It's either my second or third favorite day of the week. I can't, it's either Friday's either my second favorite day or Sunday's my second favorite day. I guess it depends on the week. But because I did have a pretty good Friday, but also I'm having a great Sunday too. Um, I got some walnut for Rhett. And it's actually two pieces. I normally try to crack it, and then when I crack it, I she gets to she gets to I'll just put a crack in it, and then she gets to sort of finish it up from there. But today I just like it just broke under the nutcracker, so there is that. All right, so today should be a pretty straightforward day. I have a component called the layout app data layout component. And that has two components inside of it, soon to be three components inside of it. Now, I want to pull out as much of that into its own component. And I think the main reason that this concept exists is for reusability, but that is not why I want to use it. The reason I want to use it is because when you use or because to sort of narrow the scope of the code, right? Like I want the code to have less scope. Now, historically, this has always been a lot trickier than it should be, and the reason is because when you once you move something out of like a parent component and make it a child component, like there are some small timing issues that creep in. And with Angular, it's very easy to just like inadvertently create like what you'd call race conditions. A race condition is like where you expect something to be done before something else starts, um, or before something else finishes or something. But you expect something to finish before. You're expecting a certain order of events. And if that order of events gets messed up in any way, things kind of break in unpredictable ways. And that's always been a problem for me whenever I was creating uh, um, components and then making child components as the timing changes. I think that won't be the case anymore for me in these newer projects because I think Signals really does a great job of managing that. So, like, if you look in this TypeScript, this layout TypeScript, you can go to this in the constructor, and there's an effect, and things get set in the effect. Well, anything that gets set for, let's say, these filters, so like apply user filter dot value. What is filter? I guess. See, I was sort of imagining this, and now I'm starting to realize. Filter value text. So it actually isn't. It's probably not going to be as simple as I was thinking. Router route filtered records. I don't know what this is. Let's see. Filter value. Div class filter. Oh, okay. So filter exists. This is like one of the fun, interesting things about Angular that's really cool and really bizarre. Um, See this when I made this is called a named template variable. This hashtag filter, and that is sort of the equivalent. I think I'm not 100%, but I believe that's the equivalent to creating a variable named filter over here in TypeScript and then using it. But if you use it as a name variable like this, then you know that you're good because um, you know that it's not being used outside unless they actually use a view child. So you can do like a view child like we have up here. And see, this one is filter input. So if we go we search on filter input, we'll find that there's a named uh, a Angular reference variable, template reference variable, I think called filter. That's weird. Maybe that's something that we were built out, but we don't. Do we ever use this filter input? So there's two instances of it, and just the name of it and that. Let's go look throughout the whole application. Filter input. Okay, so these are the, oh, wait, at view child filter input. So, oh yeah, that's still the same too. There's only two instances of it. I don't think we are using this. So let's go ahead and let's remove that so we have one less moving part to sort of account for. Hit save and just, if something's broken, it should break. I'm guessing that app filter name changed. And see, this is where it's so nice to have like end-to-end tests. Like I would definitely be a lot more worried about this if I didn't have end-to-end tests that I knew that if some weird thing is happening would get caught. Um, all right, so now what we want to do is take this. We want to take all of this code, this filter component, and um, we want to like uh, we want to export anything and then do outputs of anything that we might be listening to. I don't think there's anything we want to input into this. Um, and there's just no, like it's already kind of hard to just sit here and look at this and figure out exactly what's going on. Um, like exactly what might break and what might not break or whatever. And just imagine how much harder that's going to be if we if as these things get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I guess that is also, I never really thought about it that way, but that's also a big part of this. So let's come in here into the package.json. So esconfig. I guess this is probably what? The common source directory ts is dot source root directory must be explicitly set in this or another path to adjust your output's file layout. I don't even know what that means. I'm gonna have to read that a few more times. But we don't even want to do anything there. I just noticed it was red. You have to, you can't really, it feels weird. Like if you avoid things like that, you just slowly start to become more afraid. And fear is typically not a great thing. So this is, we're generating, this is where we generated our app data layout. So filter. Okay, that is a app data layout is a directory, right? Am I right? Am I right? Components. Yeah, that's a directory. And so we want this to be um, entity filter. So this is our entity filter. It's a component and it should create a new component in there for me. Should build out my unit tests and all that stuff. And we do get to use unit tests in this project. npm run c app data layout filter. Now we're expecting a new directory to show up under app data layout. Now I think I might have messed up because maybe I need to actually put the dashes in here. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it created a whole new. See, we didn't want that. So when we had it create the directory, when we had it create the the component, it changed this to the little minus signs in between it, away from. I think this is called camel case. It's called camel case. It's either camel case or Pascal case, but I'm pretty sure it's camel case because the first letter I believe is lowercase in camel, and you're supposed to like imagine a camel drinking water. So delete. We're going to delete that. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to change this because I want it to be in the app data layout directory. And let's give it another shot. We're interested to see if this is faster now that it doesn't have to create a. Yeah, see, that was so much faster, I guess, because it didn't have to create a directory. See, and this is our entity filter. So what we want to do is, first things first, we want to, I don't know. There's no good way. This is always so much harder than you would expect it to be. And I'm assuming, yeah, that's this. Okay, yeah, choose filter criteria. So I'm just going to copy all of this. Now, actually, what I'm going to do is first things first is I'm going to import my entity filter. I believe it is going to be capital E entity filter component. Yeah. And there's just no good way, like no reliable written down way to do what I'm doing right now. It's always a little weird and tricky. Um, but now we're going to come in and we are going to import our component. It is weird that we use import for components. Something is definitely off about that. And then typically it can help. So if you see this blue thing, that means it can figure out the import. Sometimes it'll just do the import for you. Now it always complains that this isn't used. Now I believe it's app entity filter is the name of the selector. And there it is, app entity filter. And then we want to come in here. And I just want to put it right how. And I believe it should show up. It should have, I would have thought it would have showed up in between here. I don't know where it's showing up. Let's see. I wonder if I can do this style color. I've never actually tried to do this white. Maybe I have, I don't remember it. Okay, so that's where it's showing up, even though it seems like it should be showing up inside of the div. Inside of here, right? It should be. Okay, so this is our toggle. That's this up here. And then up here. Oh, okay, so. Oh, I guess this thing is. Oh, I get. Okay, so this has both of these in it. For some reason, I thought it just had this drop down. Um, okay, so that does make sense. All right, so now what I want to do is, and like I said, I don't really have a good reliable process for sort of taking these and sort of migrating them into a new URL. All right, so it is upset about all kinds of things, and this is pretty fun. It's pretty terrifying when you're like a developer and you're working like in an enterprise. You don't really understand exactly what's going on, but it can be kind of fun. So it looks like we need the map form module. So let's do that first. So I'm gonna hit save on that because I'm always forgetting. I'd rather it just be broken and start fixing itself. All right, so I know we need like, what is it? Material. Maybe it's, I don't know. Let's go. I like to try to remember things like that. Um, so, okay, I know we're going to need, do we need the button module? No, we don't need the toggle module. We don't need the table module. We need the input, probably the form filled, and the select modules. And then it'd be very useful. And well, yeah, it'd be nice because I don't think maybe it'll actually, the IDE will tell us if we don't need those anymore once we remove the code from over there. All right, so it doesn't know where these are. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You never can tell. So let's see. Sometimes it'll just import them for you. So that looks right. You do want to pay attention when you do this. That wherever it says it's coming from makes sense. All right, so we're going to save that and then we're going to go back. Well, see if it compiles. Nope, didn't compile. Let's go back and find our next thing. Okay, so route filter menu changed. Okay, so route filter. I'm not sure where route filter comes from. I'm hoping it comes from some kind of signal. If not, if we have to do it as an input, then which is also a signal. Oh, well, one thing I don't like about doing signal inputs is they're very difficult to unit test. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's figure that out now. Route filter. What is route filter and how does it get set? I hope it gets set off of the URL. So that's this. So our route filter can be layout, and how does it get set? I'm hoping it gets set in here. Guessing, I'm hoping apply filters maybe does it. Route filter. Set table based on route. Router filter. See, that's where it'd be nice to kind of have them combined together because it kind of looks like they're bound together, but for now, I'm just going to do this. It would be, now that I think about it, it would be very, very nice if both of them interacted directly with the router and didn't care at all about each other or weren't even aware of each other, right? So like the route filter entity filter component just changes the router. That's it. That's all it does. Or it reads the router to determine what it's supposed to show, but um, it doesn't actually. I guess that maybe doesn't work because you could type in words. So the words that get typed from this have to get emitted out and then consumed back. And it'd probably be better if that was happening in the service. And I do have in the service that handles this routing stuff, this current route service. It'd be nice if that could take it, but I guess that's not really a routing thing though. It could be a routing thing if that was like we wanted to be able to add that to like a URL, but not looking to add that to a URL. I don't know. So this is when I imagined, like on my run this morning when I was running, I was like imagining how this was going. I was like, oh yeah, I'll knock this out in 15 minutes. And it's becoming very clear that I'm not going to have this knocked out in 15 minutes, probably not even today. And it is just so easy to underestimate. It's 10 times easier to underestimate than to overestimate. But if you are estimating, it's very like I feel like it's a 9 out of 10 times you're going to underestimate. And then of the 10 times that's left, so let's say there's 100 times, it'd be 10 times that you don't underestimate. Probably 9 out of those 10 times you're going to overestimate and very likely grossly overestimate. Um, it's just so rare to actually get the right estimate on one of these technical issues. All right, so I believe we're missing a function too. Menu changed. So let's create a function. Menu changed. And that's going to take an event. I don't even know what kind of event it takes. Let's see, menu change. Actually, we should just copy the whole thing from over here. And just see what goes bad after that. I don't even think like if you were trying to, if you had something similar to this like in jQuery, this would be so much more difficult. Okay, so routing layout type is just an interface. It's very easy to import. Current routing surface. We don't have that. So this is cool because this actually will set the routing detail. That's what it does. And then it's done. So I don't have to worry about some other interaction, which is really nice. It looks like we want this to be gone. And let's go get our routing service current. So this is a singleton, right? Because we're bringing it in as a service and we're going to use the inject function from the core to do it. So I don't think I want to delete that whole thing yet. Maybe in the end we will. I hope we end up deleting it out of here and it just being in the lower children. But all right, so current routing service needs to be injected. It should be able to find that. Yep, that looks good. It's mine. Then inject comes from core. So there's like four places. It offers four choices. Well, first one is the one I want, inject from Angular core. There's also apparently an inject for core testing, and then there's something called primitives DI, which I don't know anything about. Never. That's literally the first time I ever laid eyes on that. All right, let's see where we're at now. Right, still got a problem. Got the problem. Okay, we want an apply user filter. Now this is the hard one, right? Because I don't we're not using a service for this. But I think we do want to use a service and we want to use a singleton service. Like it has to be able to share state between it. So anyways, let's go find our apply user. It is Mother's Day today and my wife was sound asleep a few minutes ago, so I hear her talking now. So I figured I'd let her sleep since it was like, I mean, I don't wake her up. I mean, she can sleep as long as she wants, anytime she wants, but I figured, okay, I'm gonna not go in there into the. Typically I'll take a shower right after I run, but when I peeked in there, she was sound asleep, so I just left her alone. All right, data source filter. So, okay, so this is a problem, right? Because right now we are directly interacting with a different component that I want to have in a different thing. So we're going to need a singleton service, but it's really only for these two. So I guess what I want to do is create a service in this app data layout, and then in app in app data layout to communicate this to the table component. So basically, we're going to create a singleton, right? But the thing is the singleton will, I think because of where it gets brought in, it'll be lower on the tree, so it won't be available to like app custom layout, app tab. It'll only be available from the app data layout. And it's not because of this file structure. It's just because of the way we're loading it in. If we were to load it in at the very top, then it would be available to all those, but it's only available between this and it's the entity data table. Um, entity data table component will be the only place that it's available. Now this is actually for this filter text, so this makes sense, I think. Filter value text. I don't see filter value text, so I don't know what filter value text is. This is the actual data source for the table. I don't know what this is. Data source for. So I don't know what the value filter text is for. So are we compiling yet? Nope, we're still not. We're still red. Okay, 4 entities of select data. Entity select data. Which is that? Which is that? Entities select data. So it looks like we have two things here. We have our raw entities, and then we have populate menu. So I'm going to grab these two. I'm just going to copy them over. I don't quite understand them. I'm hoping I have a lot of faith in myself that I'll be able to understand them when the time comes. Control V. All right, so now this is a import from it's an interface import. I don't know if it's actually an interface, but no, it's just a const. Then populate menu. What does populate menu do? I have a feeling populate menu, I don't know what it does. Oh, I guess it probably sets that entity. Yeah, that's what it does. It's used to set this entity state. It's obvious that that's what that's for. And I hope you're kind of seeing that, like, it's very clear that, like, this code is already starting to get fairly difficult to sort of imagine. Okay, why does that look so weird to me? But yeah, nothing's weird about it. So this takes the raw entities. Let's see. Now? Now will you save? Or now will you build? Oh, now we got a problem in here, it looks like. And it looks like maybe the only problem is an import. And I'm thinking this gets me all the time. Well, routing layout detail. Is this? So a lot of times I'll set up my interface down here. Oh, well, no, I didn't. Okay. Routing layout detail must come from somewhere up here. Look at that. We already have gotten rid of a bunch of stuff. Take care of that real quick. Okay, routing layout detail. This guy. And I'm guessing we have something similar to that. Okay, I have it. Oh, because I'm not returning anything? Is that what's going on here? Oh, I don't think I copied enough of the. Doesn't look like I copied the whole thing, is my guess. populate menu. There. Filtered menu results sort. There we go. Control V. There we go. It seems like everything should build now, and it does. Oh, look at that. And we got, it even looks good. All right, so basically what's left? Okay, we need to, let's come back over here. It looks like what we need to do is, I think there's just like one function that needs to, so we need to commit, like, oh wow. Okay, that's awesome. See, so that's working. Add, and then all. But this, it shouldn't be working. So let's say SC. See, that doesn't work, but this one does. And so this needs to communicate over to the new table, but for the moment, the new table doesn't exist. So we could have put them both together in the same thing, but I just wanted to kind of break this stuff out because I don't really want to be thinking about the tables when I'm thinking about the filters and stuff up here, and I don't want to think about the filters. But today, all I want to get done now is just the styling. So inspect. Well, let's see if there's something obvious in here because we shouldn't have that much. Okay, filters. Can I just throw this in there? Filters. All right, so do we have a filters class in here? Yes, we do have a filters class. Oh, okay. Maybe we need to make it a width. See, display. So the funny thing about display flex is it affects the children. But it should also, well, I guess it made the children go out to 100%. Try this width, 100%. Hmm. So it's probably more like up in here. This guy. Oh, I don't think I need this style anymore. So I'm just going to get rid of this here. Should be fine. And then width, just go to 100%. Save. No. Why are you not cooperating? Inspect. So this whole thing is 100%. App entity filter is more than 100%. So I don't know why this one. Okay, so, oh, so this display is flex for all of this. All right, I don't understand. Was there something different in here? I don't think so. Yeah, that's just regular. See, it's just that this is flex. That's the only reason. that those are spanning. Oh wait okay, so this up here, this whole app entity is like big. It's weird. Should it even be flex, I wonder? Okay, so now this guy is display fix. Hey, baby. Okay, let's see. I think it's in here, right? That's display flex. Oh, class filter item. And then mat select. Okay, so it looks like we have a, oh, we have two form fields. Okay, this is weird. Okay, so what do we have here? We have this form field, which is our filter, and this is the actual filter. And then I don't know, map form field. Okay, and then this is the label for it. Okay, so I have like a bit of an indenting issue here. Okay, so those are both filled items, so it looks like I might have missed a filled item. Oh no, I have filled item there. Oh, wrong one. Oh yeah, I have filled item right there. All right. So I have this Angular code. Well, I'll tell you, yesterday was the first time where I was like interacting with ChatGPT. I get kind of annoyed interacting with ChatGPT, but oh my gosh, yesterday was the first time I realized just exactly how dangerous these AIs really are. Because, like, it's one thing for them to tell like some attorney that, or just like make up a like what are they called? Like it'll make up citations. It'll say, "Hey, this happened on this date. This judge said this about this in this case," and it'll make that completely up, and that's fine. I mean, that's whatever, like they're professionals. They should know better. A lawyer that's presenting something to the Supreme Court should know better than to submit a fake citation. And then anyone who's like defending should also be smart enough to go look in and make sure that the citations that were in there are correct. And then, the courts should check citations before they set them up. So that's all fine. Okay, whatever. That's the kind of stuff that you get a lot of like um of things for, like add a lot of like people complaining about and all that. But really, the thing is, you got to keep in mind is that in actual real life, okay, ChatGPT will give you input and thoughts about anything. There's nothing it won't give you inputs on. But if the vast majority of things, there just isn't. It's never written down. The vast, like if you're trying to accomplish anything in real life, literally only the most important things that are easily documented and are worth documenting are ever written down. That's all ChatGPT knows about, but it'll give you advice about anything. Like it really will. And it will give you advice that will get you killed. It will tell you how to drive someplace and it will get you killed. And if you want to survive, you got to be very, very careful. And yesterday was the first day that just really hit me that yeah, it's one thing to use it to help with computer programming and then like stuff not work. It's a whole different thing to have it tell you that you can get off on an exit that doesn't exist, or that it, really anybody who gets off of that exit is making a huge mistake or whatever. But anyway, so I have this code, okay? Have this Angular template code. Oh, wrong one. Angular template styles. And this markup. Can't quite figure out why these aren't. I mean, I could definitely think I could easily come up with um, um, like a way to make it go all the way across and all that, but I really want to, like if at all possible, just to do it in a very like sane way, not just get it to work, but actually get it to where, like the next time I come in here, it's very clear how it works. But see, this filters is 100%, but for some reason, the two form fields are not separating and going to 100%. And so the filters class, is spanning 100%. But the map form fields are not. They are left aligned, not taking all available space. By default, they size to their content. What you need is you have. Oh, also you have a typo. Ah, uh, it says somewhere I have something that says map form filled item. Oh, I wonder if I have a filled item too up here. Field item. That is so funny. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's fine. I don't know if that's a typo or not because I might have wanted to have different stuff. So it's saying that display. Okay, so already well, filters is already 100%. Okay, that's so weird that I'd not have to do that in the parent. But it's saying that flex 1 and flex 2. Oh, wait, that's if I wanted one to be wider than the other. Okay, I'm going to change it to filter item. I don't know if that's what I actually want, but filter item. I don't think that's going to make a difference, though. And see, this is the thing is like, what's the big deal? It's not that big of a deal that it seems to be giving me really, really bad advice here. Just isn't. Oh, wait, maybe not. Okay, so it's saying that I should do this. Now, see, I don't want know if I want both of them to have margin 2px. Maybe I just wanted it in the first one. Just don't even know. But it's saying that I need to make this flex 1. Like I said, I do not understand why I didn't have to do that before. Okay, but that is working. It is adding a little bit more space. Oh, wow, it really screwed this one up, though. How weird is that? Why would it screw this one? Why would it affect the way this one works? Just don't even know about that. Okay, so I'm going to change this, though, to entity filters. That is so fascinating. Okay, so, and if I get rid of this flex one, okay, what did we do that broke this? This blows my mind. Okay. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy that this is now broken. Okay, so I guess for now we'll fix this. Oh, wait. Oh, maybe it's because of this. Stop. I don't think so. Oh, okay. So once I made that like that, this fixed. I don't know why making this 100% broke this. Are they in the same div layout wrapper? Yeah, I'm completely lost. I don't understand why making this not 100% fix that one. That's weird. All right. So now what if I make this flex one? Does it break it again? Okay, so first of all, change that back to filter item. Well, actually, I think I want them both to be. Or maybe I want, since it's just in here, maybe it makes sense to make map form filled. Or maybe that is what happened. Maybe the mat form filled flex one. Okay, so that did not do that. I don't understand. Maybe maybe I misspelled it. Oh, that's spelled right. I think it's spelled right. Ah, it is not spelled right. Field. Field. Okay, there we go. That's much better. I think I want. So yeah, that's only there to make this a little bit wider. I don't want both of them to have this margin. And I think that's good. Okay, so there's that. There's that. This works. This is really cool. Doesn't default properly, it looks like. Okay, so yeah, it's not populating the right way. So that's a good thing to figure out. All right, let's look at that. Something in, oh, we aren't even doing, yeah, we're not even doing our effects. I don't even think we have a constructor. So constructor, structor. our constructor. Yeah, this is taking so much longer than I ever expected. This routing detail type, I think that's what we want, right? Do we have a routing detail type up here? No. What do we do? Okay, what is it based on? It is based on all ST. Okay, so if entity selected item. Okay, do I have an entity selected item? I do not even have an entity selected item. I don't know, why is this not breaking? Why do you not break? Wrong one. Okay, so we are looking at over here. We're going to default this value to, let's get rid of this. Entities. Okay. See how it goes to all, it gets set based on what's happening in the URL. And it's set based on, okay, so that's just elite looping through things. Value. Okay, value is route filter. Yeah. All right, so over here, route filter. Okay. Okay, so route filter gets set probably in the effect. So effect comes from EFGHI. It comes from core effect, comma. Let's go ahead and put these on their own lines. And then effect is, we do this, let's just do this, effect. And you pass it a function. We're going to pass it an anonymous function. I guess you could just say this and then pass it. I don't know. You give it a function name, but I don't think that gets you anything. Even if you bind it to this, I don't think that would yield any benefit at all. All right, so now in our effect over here, we're trying to set our route filter. Okay, so how do we set the route filter? I don't see where we set the route filter. So it's probably one of these functions that gets called from the effect. So set table filter based on routes. So we want this one. Does it, and this is a very pure function, so this is nice. This is very simple, easy function to lift and shift, and hopefully, so yeah. So when this is all done, I think this TS will have hardly anything in it at all. Okay, that's good. So now we have that. And now over in our effect, route filter, where is set route filter? Set. Hmm. What was the thing I just copied over? It was weird. Set, oh, set table. Okay, set table. And that's this right here, based on routing layout detail type. Layout detail type goes there. There's a console log, and then there's that. So I'm going to get rid of the console log as soon as I get over there. But All right. And again, this is taking, okay, so that's good. So if I go here, here, geometry, there, material. Okay, so the effect is working over there. This, if we add something, and then we take in, let's make it all, and then we make it like REN. This one isn't updating, which is fine because um, we're not really trying to do anything like that, but we definitely want to. I mean, I can't forget. Oh, we don't really want to update the filter. Like nothing needs to feed this filter. The filter just needs to tell the world that it needs to update. And I don't think that we're doing anything to um, be able to communicate this across components that don't exist, right? So we need a new table component, and then the new table component can listen to filter changes, and they'll share a service. So I don't know what the next step is. I'll probably decide in the morning, but it kind of seems like the next step is probably to create my entity table component.html, and then that one will basically take all of this code and that'll go in there, and then basically we'll have two of these sort of working side by side with each other, um, and then we'll delete these two and then delete all of the extra stuff. So again, we're not even doing anything that has anything to do with ThreeJS. We're really not even doing anything that has anything to do with moving forward with this whole project. We are creating new components, child components, and making and we're implementing the new child components. And and that's, I think, the right direction to go, but it is definitely yet another like rabbit hole that we're in. So we're too, like, I had worked my all the way back up to the top rabbit hole where we were like, okay, we're just going to do the three stuff, and now we're like um, not working on the three stuff. And the three stuff is basically the list of items in the dictionary that I have references to, 3JS, actual 3JS things that I have references to, so I can just see the number, make sure that we're actually deleting them all as we delete things. And then when that is done, hopefully, we'll have the unit tests and the end-to-end tests, and then we'll have the um, and then we can finally get back to update and being able to update um, these things. So that will, like, let's say I'm done at the end of May. I say we've got that all completely done at the end of May. That means it literally was a 6 month detour, because we were at update at the end of last year. We spent the whole year, finally got to update, and then realized that I wasn't deleting anything. I wasn't actually deleting anything. So, anyways, happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.